And we are live with another episode of the Keeg Talks. This is the Keeg Talks Young Justice Season 4, Young Justice Phantoms, whatever you want to call it. This is a show brought to you by the Keeg where we talk about a different topic every week, every other week. Lately, it's been every week, but we will take next week off. But this week, we're talking about Young Justice Season 4. I'm your host, Dimitri Pereira, and I can't do it alone, so let me introduce my guests for today. We got Ben Torres, aka BT Artist 98, because he is 98 years old.
Yep. I look damn good.
You look good. You look good. It's that Jay Garrick serum, you know what I mean? Like Jay Garrick turned 100 and something in that one episode.
He's 104. He's 104. I fought on the Justice Society with him. We were teammates. Yeah, I'm the less talked about hero.
You were the young buck. Yeah, you know? Yeah. But I'm glad to have you. 98 or not, you know? My second guest, we got Abby Zarafa Byrne. Abby, we haven't had you in a long time. It's been a long time.
Yeah, very, very happy to be back. Very happy. And to be talking about Young Justice.
Yeah.
Yes.
What's it been like just being like a normal person for however many months? Like, have you been doing any like podcasts or content creation? I haven't seen much of your TikToks lately.
I kind of stopped doing live streams on my TikTok because loads of people from my uni found my page. And I got like really like, oh, no, please no. Like I was awkward enough people that I like know and just met that year seeing the videos.
Yeah.
I was like, there is no chance in hell that I'm about to do a live stream, have them get a notification because they all followed me and went, oh my God, I found your TikTok. And then just have all of them in the comments.
That's why you need a secret identity. Because your usernames are literally your name.
Yeah.
You need a secret identity. You got to change it. You know.
But it's none of them even found my TikTok by like searching my name or like linked accounts or contacts or anything. They just came on their For You page because TikTok just knows when people are near each other. I guess it's like a location thing.
Oh.
Yeah. See,
it's very weird.
I also, for me, I let everyone in my real life know. I was like, I'm making a TikTok. Follow me. So everyone like follows me. But when I started working again back in November of 2021, I was like, okay, I'm free. I'm safe. No one's going to bother me. And then it's like come up in conversation. There's been a few times where my coworkers have like looked at me and they're like, were you on my For You page? I was like, yeah. And I get scared because, you know, I have content that's intellectual, but I also have content that is downright, like, down bad. Like, down bad, simping, Tiana Paris, I love you. Like that. And I'm just like, what video was it? Because somebody said that to me recently. And I was like, what video was it? They're like, oh, I think it was like Book of Vashanti from, I was like, oh, we're safe. We're safe.
I think we need masks. We need secret identities. Personally, I realized it a long time ago. I'm like, I'm going public. I'm going public with my name. I'm going to be one of those superheroes. But you guys, I don't know. I think you guys need a secret identity. I don't know how
I am BT Artist. You
are BT Artist. Yeah.
But my name is also on my profile, and people do not refer to me as BT Artist. They refer to me as Ben. And I always get confused whenever a follower is like, Ben. And I'm like, how do you know my name? And I'm like, oh, wait. Yeah,
as opposed to when people are like, Keeg. And I'm like, how do you not know my name? I'm like, I have my name listed. I'm the host. I say it all the time, but people are still like, Keegan, right? And I'm like, not Keegan. No, get out of here.
What I found out a month or two ago, that the Keeg is geek backwards. Mm-hmm. Yep.
Mm-hmm. I don't know how long it took Abby to realize it.
It took me a while.
Okay.
It took me a while.
That's fair.
And when I did, I was like, oh my God, that's so, yeah, love it.
We got a whole season to talk about. How many episodes was this? Season 4 of Young Justice. It took one break, and it did 26 episodes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you guys know?
Because it was.
Oh, what's up?
I was just because didn't it? All of them had 3 episode arcs except for
It was
Nightwing?
4. It was 4. It was 4,
Were
4,
they all
5,
4?
4, 4, 5. Yeah.
Oh,
So Zatanna and Nightwing's arcs were 5, but Zatanna and Nightwing's arcs were also not really about them. So
yeah. Yeah. They kind of needed the extra episode to make up for their screen time.
Yeah. There were 26 episodes. Did you know that the first letter of each episode spells out invitation to kneel before Zod?
I found that out about a minute before coming onto this call because I looked up the episode guide.
Yeah. Ben, you didn't know?
I found that out as soon as you just said that. Yeah. I did not know that.
The first letter of each episode title spells out invitation to kneel before Zod. I don't know if previous seasons have done a spelling thing like that, but
I didn't think they had.
I think this season they went all out. They
were no.
It's serious.
Outsiders, it's prepare the anti-life equation. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. That's
whoa.
That's season 3, but I don't know. Let's see if season 2 has it. HEAS. No, it doesn't. Season 2 doesn't work that way.
Okay, so they started
Cartoon Network not putting that much effort in.
Yeah. They started this when they were DC Universe.
Yeah.
It was.
How wild of a ride has it been? Because I was there watching from day one. And that's not a brag per se. Anyone can hop on at any point and like love it and whatever. Great. But like it started in like 2010, 2011.
Yeah. Oh, you're asking the right guy.
2010.
Right. Yep. The first episode debuted as a special 1 episode in 2010. And then it was like a few months later when they re-debuted the show, but the episodes were split in half. And then it was weekly until it wasn't.
It took 2 years to finish 1 season. The first season started in November 26, 2010, and it finished in April 21st, 2012. That was season 1. That was almost completely 2 years. It was literally 2 calendar years, but you know.
They be taking their time.
Cartoon Network screwed over a lot of the DC animated shows.
Yes, absolutely.
In the time Young Justice was on, DC Nation was born and DC Nation died. Like that was tough.
Yeah.
Were you guys watching from the beginning?
Yes.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
Back in 2010, I remember the first promotional image came out, and I'm like, "This isn't Young Justice the comic," because I'd been reading the Young Justice comic since I was like younger, and like, this isn't Young Justice the comic. The lineup's weird, but okay, I'll give it a shot. Oh, those first 2 episodes when they dropped, I loved it. Loved it from the beginning.
Well, I was like, I think I was about 9 or 10 when the first episode of season 1 came out.
Yeah.
So I was like proper, like right in that prime, like ready into my Cartoon Network era, just come off Teen Titans, ready to go to the more adult show, you know, for a 10-year-old. This is so mature, so grown up. Cut to then season 3 and 4, which actually like
mature and grown up.
That was mature.
Actually did.
Yeah. For me, it was like September of 2010, so I was 12. So I was the direct demographic they were going for when it was that block of like, it was like, because DC Nation, like this show was like right before Clone Wars, and then Toonami, and then Adult Swim. I'm not sure Toonami was back yet, but so I was that prime age. So it was first, I was like old enough to be a little bit of like a gatekeeper. So I was like, why isn't this Tim Drake? Why isn't this Bart Allen? What are they doing there? Where's Wonder Girl? Yeah. I was so pissy, but I was like, oh, this Aqualad is cool. But
everybody was hating on Aqualad at the first promotional image because people do that like because they're racist.
I wasn't. That's been my goat since day one. That has been my goat since day one. I was like, who's this guy? He's awesome. And then they were like, "Oh, we're integrating into the comics." So I was like, "Yes, yes, yes."
Yeah.
But I was like, "Who's this green? Is this not? Why isn't this arrow wet? This is so stupid." Blah blah.
Artemis was the weirdest. I was like, yeah.
Artemis is essentially OC at this point because she's like,
right.
She is so drastically different from her comic counterpart. But
right.
When the first episode came out, my entire brain was melted. I was like, "This is peak." Little did I know it would not only be peak, but it would be a tough time just to even get more than 4 episodes at a time.
Yeah, it's tough being a fan of some of these shows because like when Justice League came out on Cartoon Network, like years before that, they kept putting in a hiatus for like anime shows like Bobo. I don't know if you guys know Bobo. It was a guy with nose hairs that come out and then they like elongate and like they do things. Anyway, it was some random anime because Cartoon Network was like, let's invest in anime over our own programming. And so like the Justice League cartoon kept getting like, there wasn't like a set schedule and like you just had to like pay attention, which sure, I did, but not everybody does. Mainstream audiences don't always pay attention. They need that schedule, right? So like Young Justice kind of dropped the ball as well, and it kind of sucked in that respect. Because it shouldn't take that long. Like, I'm looking at this. It looks like the first 2 episodes dropped November 26, 2010. Then I think it officially premiered January 21st, 2011. Or premiered right before that, because the 3rd episode came out January 21st, 2011. It goes roughly every week up until the 9th episode, March 11th, 2011. Then comes back September 16th, 2011, with episode 10.
Oh my god.
Then we're going September, October. Okay, we're going every week. November. Okay. November 18th ends at episode 18. Then starts back again March 3rd, 2012, with episode 19.
Oh my god.
Then it goes every week, and then finishes April 21st, 2012. How many hiatuses does that like show need?
Wow.
1 season.
Wow.
For a show that was on for 4 years, 2 seasons is.
It's just.
But you know what? It takes time to make peak. You know, it takes time to make peak. You know, it's the truth.
Can't rush excellence.
I feel like and I feel like as a fan though, like it's finally paying off, which is nice, because. That was season 1. Season 2 was April 28th, 2012. Oh, sorry. Season 2 starts a week after season 1 ends.
Yeah.
Okay. And then
dude, hold up. We need to pause to talk about this.
Yeah.
You know how confusing it was to end 1 week, start the next week, and we are 5 years later.
Yeah.
I was like, what? I was like, what the hell is this? What the hell is this? And then the crazy thing is they had like shown all the promo stuff and everything, but they did not show us Nightwing. The Robin promo they showed us, it was just Robin. So I'm thinking, oh, you know, they didn't show us Aqualad, they didn't show us like they didn't show us too much. They just showed us like clips. And I remember because some of those trailers, I don't think Robin spoke at all. So we're under the impression.
That's Tim Drake Robin?
Yeah, we're under the impression that's Grayson.
Yeah.
Aged up a little bit.
Yeah.
And then Grayson pops up a little bit later as Nightwing. And I was like, what?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. That goes 2012. That's a pretty easy schedule. It's March 6th. It ends March 16th, 2013. And it starts April 28th, 2012. And it probably goes on break once. But they have 20 episodes in season 2 instead of first season was 26. And then goes on, gets canceled in 2013 and it starts back up again 2019.
The most painful near decade
Six
in existence.
Years. Yes, 6 years. And
was it only 6?
Yeah, I mean 2013 to 2019.
It felt like so much longer.
It feels like so much longer because you probably went through high school without it. Like
I did went through high school.
Yeah.
It started or it ended in 2014. So I was
2013.
2013. So I was like I think I had just was almost done with freshman year. So by the time it came back, I was in freaking college.
Yeah.
I was in college. I had a full time. I was like working.
Because 6 years is 2 years of junior high plus 4 years of high school kind of thing. You know, that's a long time.
I have no idea what any of that means.
Wait, what year did it come again? 2019?
2019. January of 2019. Is
Oh,
season
wow.
3. On
So
DC Universe.
Yup.
On DC Universe, back when DC Universe was a thing.
Mm-hmm.
I was very confused by DC Universe and why they were doing the moves they were doing. And it really was just to waste time until HBO Max started up. Because they didn't have all the rights to everything. They were just kind of like dilly-dallying. They were just like, yeah, we're DC Universe. It is what it is. We're not going to make a DC Universe app for the PlayStation. We're not going to like do all that stuff. They were just like, you find it, find it.
It definitely was them going, all right, let's start this streaming platform thing, and then let's migrate all these shows to the actual one we're going to use.
I'm happy now. I'm happy now.
I don't mind having a ton of comics on my phone at almost all times. I don't mind.
You still have the app?
Yeah, I still have the app. I'm still a $7.99 a month DC Infinite member.
It's not DC Infinite, right? It's DC Universe Infinite. It's multiple subtitles.
Infinite. That's right. Infinite.
No, we still don't have
after
HBO
6
Max.
months.
Yeah. Wait, what'd you say?
We still don't have HBO Max here.
Oh,
you guys get all the stuff on Netflix then?
Nope.
I thought Titans comes out on Netflix.
Titans does, but Young Justice doesn't. Doom Patrol doesn't. Watchmen didn't. Like just anything HBO Max.
So where do they come? How do you watch them?
Well, we don't need to get into the nitty gritty, my friend. You know. As long as we're adding things to the community and to the love and to the passion that we got, we're doing a net positive, right? And so when it comes, so I'm getting flashbacks to DC Universe because Titans came out on DC Universe. Did Doom Patrol first come out in DC Universe?
Doom Patrol and Harley Quinn.
And then they both, and Harley Quinn. So it was like, okay, they were doing like quality stuff, except for Titans. But then they migrated over to HBO Max, and I'm glad that like they continued it, because they could have canceled it. They could have pulled a CW like what CW just did.
They could have. I definitely. You can also tell which seasons of Harley Quinn and which season of Young Justice were HBO, or I'm sorry, which HBO Max versus what was DC Universe, because the animation quality from 3 to 4 is a drastic jump.
You brought it up, and I didn't realize it. Abby, did you notice that?
I definitely did, because I rewatched before starting season 4. I rewatched all of the first 3 seasons.
Oh, wow.
Then I was watching like the jump from 1 to 2, just like all the different character designs, and like I had like a couple like switches with the animation. I was like, oh, okay, but fairly consistent.
Yeah.
And then it jumped to 3, and I was like,
yeah.
Okay.
Season 3 was the Dekamu like design, but Young
You're
Justice.
the only person that pronounces it that way that I've like heard.
Dekamu?
Yeah. DC animated movie universe.
Yeah, I call it Dekamu.
Yeah.
I had no idea that's what you meant. I just thought that was the name of an animator.
No. I call it that because that's just it's a long ass acronym. It is just I'm not saying all that, but and then we were on a stream lounge, and I brought it up, and then Dimitri was like, oh yeah. I was like, no, Dimitri, you don't understand. I'm gonna make a diagram right now to show you the difference between 1, 2, 3, and 4, or between like Young Justice season 2, 3, 4.
Use Nightwing as a reference.
Yeah, I use Nightwing. Nightwing is the one of the few characters that's consistently in all 3 and has a pretty similar design, but he's got those little changes, between season 3 to Camu and then season 4. Season 4 was more like back to like
season 2.
2. Yeah. I like Phil Barrasa's Young Justice style more than I like his Dekamu style. I'll say that.
Right. I like Phil Barrasa's character designs ever since Crisis on Two Earths. You see that one, Abby?
Yes.
I think so, yeah.
That's the one with Owlman and like Ultraman and like the
yes
the crime syndicate. Yeah.
That's a
Yeah.
good movie.
I've
a
liked
good
his
movie.
design since then, and then I'm paying close attention to it, and then he did Young Justice. Wait, Crisis on Two Earths came out before Young Justice, huh?
That was one of his first like big DC projects, and they were probably and that is most likely what got him the Young Justice like character designer job. That's
And you can tell with the plating, like he does plate armor, kind of segmented, like Kid Flash has like seams in his armor, right? But it's not too much like New 52. New 52, like your seams had seams, your plates had plates, you know?
As someone, it's funnily enough, my name is BT Artist. I don't really be drawn on my TikTok. I don't do that anymore. But I will say, as a child, I wasn't really that much of a child. I was 13. That's still a kid. As a 13-year-old, trying to draw all those damn lines on the New 52 costumes, I was very thankful for Green Lantern. I don't even like how Jordan draws. Like, oh my god, thank God it's just like shoulder pads, a few lines here, and then like he had like soles on his shoes. I was like, this is fine.
You were getting into comics when I was getting out of DC. Like I left DC for a little bit because of New 52. And so
I was already in comics. I had been reading, I think the first thing I ever read was Batman. I was like, Batman Hush was new, so it had to be around 2004.
Yeah.
And I remember my dad had just got both trade paperbacks, and he had left them under the sink in the bathroom for some reason. I was, doing my little child business in the bathroom, and I was like, I need something to read while I'm, sitting here.
Yeah.
So I started reading Batman Hush, and I always looked at the pictures, but instead of looking at the pictures, I read it, and I was like,
I was like,
whoa.
Ben's been in the bathroom for 5 hours. What the hell's going on?
I was like, this is amazing. Who is this? Jim Lee? I need to look up this Jim Lee guy. I was just a kid, and that's what kicked off like me actually reading comics. Like,
Back in the day in school, I used to print out my favorite. Well, first thing, I used to collect pictures, like on the internet. I would right click save as because the internet was different when I was growing up. Like it wasn't as robust, so there would be dedicated sites to like just a picture of superheroes. And I would just right click save as, and I would like categorize it in my head. I'd be like, Batman, whatever, number, and I would number them and like just keep track of like where the numbers are and whatever, and create folders and whatever. And so I'd print out my favorite ones on my printer and then like put them in my binder, and like kind of make my own like collage in the front, like little plastic sleeve of the binder.
I love that.
Yeah, but like Hush and like those like Jim Lee's art were I would print that on my printer. My dad was probably like, why are you wasting so much ink? Okay. But Young Justice season 4 starts off pretty much right after season 3, right?
I think there's like a year time jump?
Is there a year? Okay.
I think it's a year.
But not much has changed, right?
Not much, no. We just got some upgrades.
We learn later what has changed, but it's not like season 1 to 2, where it's like right at the beginning, everything's different, and then you gotta like catch up, right?
Hey, I'm gonna get off season 2 because there's so much. Watching season 2 live was a trip, but season 4 it was the McGann and Connor arc, which I think this was a year later because they had just got engaged in season 3. And then in season 4, they are now getting married. And very cute. Well, I guess it wasn't very cute because that's what kicks off. This was kind of like the hold on, I'm trying to think of my literary terms. The exposition? This is the beginning. This is what kicks off our
the catalyst or the
catalyst. This is our catalyst for the season.
Yeah.
So we have first, I remember this season was all the way back in the fall, wasn't it?
October, yeah.
Yeah, Jesus Christ. They still be taking breaks.
Well, it was the first 2 episodes together, October 16th, and then it went every week up until
Zatanna's arc. They took an actual mid-season, which was like necessary.
It was December 30th was like episode 13, and then it came back March 31st.
Yeah, they took a 3-month mid-season break, which is like that's normal. But
I'm cool with that. I was cool.
As a young, that's triggering. That is triggering. That amount of time gone.
I mean, it's way better than season 1, so I think I'm fine. 13 straight episodes. I can appreciate that. You know?
I definitely did. But I think McGann's arc was a very good. They handled like identity very well. I liked how they were able to parallel like real life, like racial inequality, like pretty well with as much grace as you can, as like with green, white, and red and yellow aliens.
Yeah,
and then but also I remember I had a commenter. I was just like, one of my commenters was like, "Do you think McGann's arc could parallel trans identity?" And I was like, actually, I was like, you know what? You could be onto something, because I was thinking it's a racial identity thing the whole time. And that's why I was like, now why doesn't she want to be oppressed? I was like, what's wrong with being oppressed, girl? And then they pointed out, they're like, oh, what if it's a trans identity story where she's just coming into the real her? I was like, hold up. You're spitting. I was like, you have opened my eyes and my mind. So I was thinking it was just like a racial identity thing, but that arc was just about identity in general. So I think that was a very well done arc. I know there's a big sect of Young Justice fans who don't like McGann. I found that out this year.
That's
weird.
I
was like,
really?
Yeah. Because she has done some foul things. They're like, well, she did this to Artemis, she did it. I was like, I'm like, okay, you're right, but like, I can't blame.
Like, how boring would characters be if they were always just like perfectly good? Like,
exactly. It's like, so what? She was brain blasting people and sometimes her friends. Like, okay.
I mean, exactly. She was just in a little goofy mood. It's fine.
Yeah, they've all pulled some shit, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, we can go through the tally later, but you know.
I think people are still mad at her and the other Zatanna for tricking Artemis in season 3, which I'm like, okay, I'll give you that one. But I really like, you're thinking everything's gonna go well, the bomb goes off, and I sat there, I was like, nah, Superboy. And then the episode ends with McGann just crying. I'm like,
yeah,
my heart.
Also, we've been getting teases of the Legion of Superheroes since the end of last season, and then there was a couple other scenes in this episode or in these couple episodes, right?
Yeah, they're mysteriously around for like the first half of the arc, and then the last half they actually start speaking and doing stuff like on screen.
Yeah.
And they're building up the mystery with Lorzod, which I was like, who is this treacherous man?
It's crazy because like the main villain kind of this like season, it isn't Zod, right? Like Zod is like the main villain, but he's not like the overarching villain.
I would treat this like a Azula Firelord Ozai situation where like Azula's the actual like primary antagonist who is like terrorizing these people, but the bigger threat is the big guy. It's his father. So like obviously, but Lorzod I think was a good villain. But I'll let Abby speak because I've been talking a lot.
No, it's fine. No, I totally agree. I think it was interesting with like the way that they formatted this season, having it be these like little collections of mini stories allowed for like more spotlights on both different heroes and villains.
Yeah.
Which like it just allowed a couple of them to be like newly introduced and like just come straight in and like pack a punch in just like this little contained story. And also just like develop some of the others. It was an interesting way of doing things. I think it had its pros and its cons. But no, I definitely think that Zod at the end, even though we didn't see that much of him in like all of the other arcs, because you had the continuous thing of Superboy and the Phantom Zone going through, it didn't feel like it just sprung out of nowhere.
Yeah.
It was kind of a weird formatting for this season, and a lot of people were thrown off by it, right?
Yeah, I know people initially were like confused. I, as a Clone Wars fan, enjoyed it. I thought it was a smart way to handle this many characters.
Yeah.
Because especially with a show as expansive as this, like you need to be able to tell those kind of stories. I think my only gripe is that like 3 arcs felt like they actually focused on the character, and then the other 3 just felt like the character is a centerpiece to the action around them, but that's not really about them. Like I feel like we can talk about this like later, but like in general, I feel like McGann and Connors, the first arc, Artemis's arc was, I think, that low-key one of my favorites. Artemis's arc, I think, definitely focused on her, and then Calder's arc actually focused on him and how he was feeling. I feel like Zatanna's somewhat touched on it, but Zatanna, Nightwing, and Rockets were very much not really about them, more so about the situations that they are currently in.
Yeah.
They just happened to be there.
Yeah, they just happened to be there. I definitely feel like it was really apparent with Rocket and Nightwing because they were like, they were just pieces to the puzzle. They weren't even, it's like we got more development from Forge. Rocket. But I definitely think going forward they should keep this format but have more of the core team in the arc. So like maybe the first arc is just 3 or 4 members. Maybe the next arc is a few, like 2 or 3, but then we have characters from season 2 like Blue Beetle, Static, and Cassandra Sandsmark, like spotlight other characters we haven't seen in a while also introducing new characters. I feel like if they have like 3 to 4 main heroes, because I'll say our title card characters, the team, basically the team minus Roy and Wally, those are our like main Young Justice characters. So I feel like if they function by putting multiple in an arc at a time and then like switching them out and then again having them all come together at the end could work better. Because I think the one thing that people most definitely agree on is they just really want to see the original team together a lot more. Because it's something special. Those characters are very special to us. So it is definitely, I feel like, going forward, keep this format, just have more people from the team around.
I would say change the format a little bit. I would love to see the first arc of next season be the main team. Just the main team. Just give us the main team and then split them off. You know what I mean? So we kind of like, I want to see the main team kind of do their thing. That being said, there's too many characters. I love how expansive the show is, but like there are so many. And I'm cool with it. I love it. That's part of like one of the things that I love about just comics in general is the expansive world building. I love it. Like, I read an early release of Young Justice Targets, which is the comic. The comic comes out next week or the week after, but I read an early release on it. And Clayface is a main character.
I love that.
Like, okay.
Yeah, because he's a good guy. He's a good guy in this. Like, and there's that one episode of this season where they were like, who should we put on the Justice League? And like, it had a bunch of people and like, Clayface is on the thing.
I really hope they don't have Kate Kane shoot him. Like in the comic.
Oh, yeah.
Please, just a Clayface redemption arc is so nice, especially because like his relationship with Cass. Also, you know, like I was like, please. I posted a video I think today. I was like, please, Young Justice, we're gonna have a time skip 1 year or 2 maximum. 5 years was too much. Yeah. And then someone comments, knowing this show, they're gonna have John and Damian being the Super Sons next season. I was like, you're so right. You're so right. It's so possible.
I get the time skip between 1 and 2 because they were probably like, we're not sure if we're getting a season 3, right?
Yeah.
So they're like, we want Nightwing. We want them to grow up. Yeah. We want to like throw everything in there for season 2. And I get that, right? Season 2, I think, starts off with Lobo, right? Like Lobo is like, it goes up again at the UN or whatever. And like you see Wonder Girl.
Oh, Batgirl and Wonder. Oh, that was hype as a Barbara Gordon stan.
Right.
And I was like screaming because she was only in a few episodes of season 1 and she had speaking lines, I think, once.
I love her costume too.
I loved the gray armor plating with that was so good.
Yeah. By the way, side note, when Young Justice Targets comes out, I think it might be cool and smart of DC to release an ongoing comic or a bunch of miniseries while we're waiting for season 5. You know what I mean?
I would love that. I'm not sure if DC actually cares about us like that, but I definitely would love that.
I think now that it's on HBO Max, and HBO Max is a prestige streaming service.
That's true.
Like, I think they're like, okay, if we're gonna have these shows on this, let's put some let's invest something in it. So like the plot of Young Justice Targets is Perdita and Gar are broken up. Perdita gets kidnapped. And so that's that's the premise of Young Justice targets.
Okay.
Yeah.
I brought up Batgirl earlier. I guess it would be appropriate to move to Artemis's arc because that's where we got our ninjas. We got more Bat Family. We got.
You're right. That arc might be my favorite.
I think that was my favorite. Yeah, that was really solid.
Though I do love me some New Gods. I love my New Gods.
I love me some New Gods.
But
I was surprised at how much I liked the Artemis arc because she isn't like one of my favorite characters from the team. She's like not at the top of the list because for me, for like years and years and years, it's Zatanna and Nightwing. Not just in Young Justice, but just in general. Like those two, I love those characters so much. And then when I heard that, like, oh, they're getting the special arcs for like an extra episode each, I was like, oh, yes, amazing. And then, as you say, that was just like not actually
just kind of there,
about them. Yeah. I was like, oh, I preferred the Artemis arc to the Zatanna and the Nightwing one.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I feel like they put Greg Weisman put his Greg Gussie Wysissi up in this arc because this arc ate down. This arc was so freaking good.
It was.
First, you have listen. As soon as you put Cassandra Cain in a main role, I'm tuned in. Okay? I am tuned in, and this was accurate. Cassandra Cain, like not speaking. She out here. She's got hands. You do not want to see her in a one-on-one. This is Cassandra Cain that I know, right? So I was happy.
And they explore her relationship with Lady Shiva too, right?
Yeah. I don't know how I feel about the change from David Kane being the abusive parent to Lady Shiva. That's because Lady Shiva was not present. She was not a present mother. She gave birth to Cassandra. She's like, I'm out. Deuces. Chug the deuces, I'm out. But I feel like they definitely changed that.
Yeah.
In this show, because if you do that, she'd be too much like Artemis. She would like literally be Artemis, because I definitely feel like Artemis in this show is an amalgamation of like Artemis from the comics, Cassandra Cain, and a bit of Arrowhead. So,
I would love to see pregnant Shiva kicking ass. I think that would be cool. Like, you think Shiva? You think Shiva's taking it easy while she's pregnant?
No.
Not a chance.
She's got like an armored belly plate, and she's like, "You can hit me here all you want. My baby is coming out fine." Right. Also, the little implication of when we see Cassandra, we see a scar right here and like scars on her face. Those implications that like Lady Shiva was like, "What? You can't speak." Like, that's tough. Yeah, that's tough. And the Barbara Gordon injury change, instead of making it her being
a victim to Joker,
the victim to Joker, a passive tool for the bot, she's actually actively participating. Like, I don't know how I feel about it being like, oh, the person who, injured her is also somebody she takes care of. I don't know how I feel about being Cassandra.
It's an accident, right? Like,
it's an accident, yeah. But Barbara does have agency in that story, and like, I'm not gonna sit here and lie. I was watching that episode like, I was hurt. That's my homegirl. That's my good sis, Barbara Gordon. That's my good sis. Hey, like I was sitting here hurt. I was like, I watched it back like 3 times just because I was like, I just need to feel something. I was like, I watched this season and like Squid Game around the same time, so I was a mess. I was like, I was a mess.
That's a decision.
So, I did not know Squid Game was gonna have me like that, and I did not know I forgot because it's been like 2 years since the last season, so I forgot that Young Justice doesn't like to pull his punches, and then I should have known better because I literally, like you said, watched seasons 1 through 3 again before season 4. I did the exact same thing. And then it had been like a few days until season 4. So I'm like in season 4. And I'm like, oh, we're going to be okay. We're going to be okay. New arc. And then they hit us with this. And I was like, oh.
So, yeah. Well, I mean, they killed
Khan first with the Superboy thing. Yeah. First Superboy, then they were packing some punches every arc.
Yeah.
They did not want us to be happy. They did not want us to watch this show and have happy thoughts or good feelings. They wanted us stressed every episode.
Abby, what was your favorite character arc? Was it this one with our
I think it surprisingly was. I mean, I still enjoyed watching mostly the Zatanna one.
Wait,
particularly because
Zatanna one was your least favorite, or
no. I enjoyed watching the Zatanna one more than the Artemis one.
Oh, okay.
Because of just like how I was just happy to see my girl get some screen time.
Right.
Honestly, she came in late to the show. She needs to catch up.
Yeah.
She needs her episodes. So I was just happy to see a lot of her, and I always tend to prefer the kind of like dark magic side of DC. I just like love that kind of element of it.
Yeah.
So like seeing that have its own like just like little contained story with just like one of my favorite characters in all of DC. It's like, yes, amazing. I do admit that the Artemis arc was better. It just was a better story.
Yeah.
But I just love Zatanna too much to have not enjoyed her arc the best just because I got to see her.
Yeah. Half of Zatanna's arc though is Vandal Savage's story, right?
Yeah.
And
it's Vandal Savage, and then we focus. The focus is a bit more on her students than her. She's kind of like I guess we're in Zatanna's arc discussion now. She's kind of like a team player in that aspect, but also I think it's interesting that this show went with the version of Zatanna that is a little bit more morally self-serving with her powers than, because that's kind of a more recent thing to have her like, because I think it was in the comics, it was the first time we really saw Zatanna do something kind of like heinous like that was in Identity Crisis when she wipes Batman's memory and then she magic. I forgot if I put my hand right here, then the camera can't see my thing. She alters Dr. Light's personality, which I know people have feelings about that arc, but that kind of character decision has continued with Zatanna in the comics, like multiple times in multiple storylines. We saw that with Catwoman, with her going like, "Oh, I had this baby. Wipe my memory, please." Zatanna's like, "Are you? Zatanna's like, are you sure?"
Slam Bradley's baby?
No, it's in the. I can't remember who the dad was. It was not Bruce.
I thought it was Slam Bradley.
I can't remember. I literally cannot remember.
Okay.
Because this was like a hot minute ago, and I have not reread that arc. Because I'm just like, why y'all got Zatanna out here acting a fool?
Right.
But in this show, she's kind of doing the same thing. She's kind of acting a fool. She tricked Artemis last season. This season, she didn't even. Khalid was just like, "Is this act? Did you ask anyone? Like, are you gonna do this?" And she was just like, I guess I will." Like, it was very much like, I was like, "Damn, girl."
I feel like Zatanna's entire arc, her arc, was just like a long-winded setup for the post-credit scene of the season. Yeah. for Mary turning evil.
Yeah.
I feel like it was all just like a big roundabout way to get to that, honestly.
Yeah. Honestly, I know we're in DC talk. This was a very much like MCU arc where it's just like, this is the arc for, this is the movie where we just need this one to explain the other plot points later, because this one literally has the Clarion, the Clarion owes her, the school bus, Black Mary. It ties in to Apocalypse, and it ties into Aqualad's arc, and literally everything. So
it was the exposition arc. It was just the exposition arc.
Now, did I enjoy seeing a pretty new character, Khalid, enter Young Justice? Yes. I also like seeing Tracy 13. I like seeing Mary Marvel. Mary Marvel also like stealing their powers was just like
it was interesting backstory, because like whatever story with Mary Marvel was in the past, like we didn't see that.
Yeah, it was in the past, and also I don't think we had really seen her that much before. I think she was in. I don't think we've ever seen her. I think we saw her like maybe once or twice in like, I think we, like Billy Batson's apartment. Yeah, in the background, something like that. Okay. But I think it was more so she was like a background, like definitely like background player, not even like Barbara Gordon in season 1. I don't think she even had a line before. But this was like a really interesting way to introduce the Black Mary thing, and also Supergirl, who I'm so glad I picked up. I was like, they're not mentioning her this much, not do anything with it. So I'm so glad. That's my good sis Kara, whichever last name they're gonna give her, Danvers, Zor-El.
I mean, it's gonna be Zor-El.
But I mean, for when she stops tripping off Darkseid's stuff and like, finally like a regular person, whatever last name they're gonna give her, Kent, Danvers, whatever. I'm just happy my girl's in here. I'm just happy to see her here.
By the way, do they say Kara or Kara?
I think they said Kara.
I think Kara.
I hate Kara. I hate the name. Because in the Superman animated series, she's Kara. Because like my joke growing up was like, if I ever married Supergirl, she'd be Kara Pereira, right? Like if she took my last name. But
and here's the thing,
Kara sounds like, dumb.
I get.
Kara is the only way I can pronounce it.
I say Kara because Kara's a real name, but they all like when it's like in other literally everything else, it's Kara Zor-El, and I'm like, okay, Kara, and then I end up calling her Kara, but it's Kara.
In the CW show, it's Kara.
Yeah,
but it also
Kara's
sounds
the only
like,
way that makes sense to me.
Really?
Otherwise, to me, it sounds like if I say Kara.
What's Tara?
Tara.
Tara.
Okay.
Tara. Kara.
Okay.
Guess so.
Yeah.
What's Clara?
Clara.
Okay, but that's Clara or Clara. That one's I've heard both.
Clara's with an I. That's like just Claire with an A.
I don't know.
It's Clara, Lara.
I've heard both for Clara and Clara.
Let me just say something about America here. And this is no. It's not I'm not trying to start any problems. Let
me say something about America, folks.
There's like this like kind of like basic pumpkin spice latte white girl aesthetic where it's like they're gonna take their name but then say it's pronounced Kara. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like,
okay.
But most people will say here Kara, and then they be no. It's Kara. You know, like, and maybe that's an American thing.
Weird.
Kara sounds like you're trying. If I say
Kara, that sounds like it's like Keira Knightley.
Well, that's Kiera, right?
What?
No, it's Kiera.
Who is saying Kiera?
I say Kiera Knightley. I say Kiera Knightley.
It's Kiera. It's
Kiera
Knightley. She has said her name many a time.
How is it? How is it?
Kiera. Kiera Knightley.
I'm sorry. I'm pronouncing all the vowels. I'm sorry. Kiera. I've been saying Kiera Knightley. My whole life.
There's this girl in my
like Sierra
in my class at uni. Her name is spelled
here's the thing.
L-A-R-A.
Here's the thing with Sierra. With Sierra, it's I-E-R-R-A versus Kira is K-E-I-R-A. It's ear. Like how you spell ear.
Oh,
like
it's not K-I?
Oh no, it's K-I.
What?
It's
Am
Kira.
I illiterate?
It is K-I. Oh no, it's K-E-I-R-A. K.
No,
so
I thought I was.
Yeah,
it is. I'm looking at it right now.
It is K-E-I-R-A. So you're right. I've been operating on K-I-E-R-A. Yeah, so Kira. That's why I would say Kiera. But now that I see it's K-E-I-R-A, you're right. It's Kira.
Okay. See, you're pronouncing it how people mispronounce our queen who does the 1-2 step. You know what I'm
saying? What like Sarah?
I love it when how people mispronounce her name as Kiara or Kiera.
No. I know this is Sierra. I know
she is automatic supersonic hypnotic funky
fresh. Okay, so now that we got that out of the way, okay.
Learn pronunciation.
I'm saying I like Kara Zor-El. That's just me. Kara Zor-El. That's
you like it for selfish reasons. Kara Pereira is what you're going for.
Kara Pereira. Just like I gotta watch myself if I, get involved with a Sarah Pereira. Like I get it. If they don't want to date me, they don't want to date me because of that. I get it. Also, they don't have to take my last name. It's fine. This is neither here nor there. Where were we?
We're talking about Kara Danvers.
We were talking like Mary Marvel and like the end of like turning her evil with the Zatanna arc and whatnot, and like the fact that she's been stealing the powers.
Yeah,
what
she was
happened
like,
before that?
she was like going through the magical ley lines, and she was like, I'm gonna sap your powers so I can use it. Remember, she Khalid and Tracy were like on the ground, and then Mary was just like, well, it's my time to shine. And she was just like, zip, do you do that? And they were just like, oh, why would you do this without asking for consent? And she was just like, I needed to do it. And then Zatanna was like, you were bad. You were using your powers against your teammates. And I was just like, that's real hypocritical, Zatanna.
Bit of a hypocrite.
That's real hypocritical, Miss Zatanna Zatara. Zatara, like Kara, you know?
Zatara. I get that.
Not Zatira.
Not Zatara. Yeah. No, I get that. What's weird is she went by the name Sergeant Marvel. Because they were trying to what does Billy Batson go by? Do we know?
They called him Captain Marvel in season 1, but that was before DC was just like
Shazam, and then
that was it was right before the New 52. So that was right before they were like, he's just Shazam.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
which is kind of dumb because he literally can't say his own name.
Right. But now they've made it in continuity where it's like he can say his own name, but he just has to mean it, like it's the intent. But then that means you can't catch him on a thing, because there would be like a thing where like you trick Billy Batson into saying his own name, and then he turns back, and then you can like punch him and knock him out. Same with Black Adam. You could do that. You know, you could just got to trick him into saying the wizard's name. But it's a little bit different. I don't know. It's kind of weird. So Sergeant Marvel, and I'm reading the wiki. Basically, in this continuity, her and Billy are twins.
Interesting.
Are they?
Yeah, in this
I thought
continuity.
she was his older. Interesting. She's usually his older sister, right? Yeah.
Well, no, not usually. Nowadays, it's his older sister. Back in the day, it was his younger sister.
Oh. Have we seen Freddy in Young Justice at all?
I don't know whether we've seen him, because there doesn't seem to be a wiki entry, but there is a link.
I always get confused with the animated
he's been in the comic, I think.
Movies.
What's up?
I always get really confused between Young Justice and the animated movies. So I'm like, I remember seeing all the Marvel kids around. Wait, no, that was in... Was it in
Flashpoint?
Flashpoint, yeah.
That's who I can't remember.
Very dark
who works them? Was it Wonder Woman or Aquaman? Oh, it was
it was Wonder Woman.
I was like,
She's
like, go on, say it, I dare you. Jesus, Diana.
She got addicted to the magic, and she would stay in her Mary Marvel, Sergeant Marvel form, and like not turn back. And so then Freddy and Billy.
That's why she looks older always.
Freddy. Yeah, but then she gave it up, right?
Oh yeah.
She had to like give it up cold turkey, right?
She was addicted to it like crack. Yeah. That's crazy.
And
now.
Yeah. So I'm looking.
Now she's just.
Freddy is Lieutenant Marvel, according to the wiki.
Oh, that's cute. They gave him a new name, but I like Captain Marvel Jr. or CM3. I like that.
CM3 back in the day. The whole Captain Marvel Shazam mythos has changed so much because of merchandising and movie rights. It's like
and Marvel going like, so we're gonna release our Captain Marvel movie.
Yeah. It's been a weird ride for the last 10 years if you're a Captain Marvel fan. What I think the Zatanna arc is my least favorite. Mostly because even like I like the Vandal Savage backstory, but you could have just released one comic that had all that information in it. You could have released that encyclopedia entry because also the pictures weren't animated.
Listen.
They were just like,
I am not doing extracurricular activities for my movies and TV shows, okay? If I feel like reading it, I am. But if not, it's like I read my comics for the comic stories. I do not want to have to read a bunch of stuff just to be clued into little tidbits. That's the Star Wars problem. They're just like, oh, it wasn't in the movie. We put it in some random comic that could be canonized at any point. Like, I
Young Justice is worse, dude. Young Justice.
I'll say Young Justice is a little bit better. Is better actually because it's the actual show writers and creators who write those comics. So they stick to the comic canon. Like the Zatanna and Rocket dating Nightwing was just in the comics. It didn't even have any reference until season 4. Right. So like they go out of their like Aqualad's or Calder, not Aqualad, he Aquaman. Calder's mom first debuted in the comics and she had the exact same design, and then we see her in the show. Yeah, she's very different from her comic.
By the way, is she white or light skinned? Because I don't know.
I think she's just light skinned. I think he's fully black. Okay, I think he's fully black because he is in the comics, and then and Jackson Hyde is in the comics, right? And then Calder is, I think. His mama just light skinned with loose curl pattern.
But then he has his adopted dad who is named Jackson. No, he has an adopted dad in this.
Yeah, right? he did have an adopted dad.
What's his name?
Ooh, that's a really good question. I can't remember.
It's Calvin Durham.
Ah. Calder. Oh, that's right. I liked him.
Huh.
I mean, they could have did that arc anyway, the Zatanna arc. It had an extra episode in it compared to all the others. So they could have just condensed down all the Vandal Savage exposition.
Into one episode.
They could have.
Into one episode and just have that be the extra one.
But I think it's because the animation was kind of not there, that they couldn't have a whole episode of that animation. Because it wasn't animated. They were just one like splash page, and they would like put the camera.
It was a slideshow.
They saved all that animation budget for the last arc because there was 60 characters up in that arc. Yeah. But speaking of saving animation, I think it's time to talk about Aquaman.
Okay, the Aquaman arc. Are we going in order roughly? Yeah, I mean.
Yeah, we are. We are. Yeah. I really like Calder's arc, and especially we actually got Calder character work because Carrie Payton wrote one of the episodes. Yeah. So we got some really good stuff with Calder, and it was very nice seeing a black character have the other characters around him ask him, "How are you doing? How are you feeling? Like, are you sure you want to do this? This is like because usually that's our job in the But in this, we had every other character asking him, "How are you feeling? How do you feel about Connor's death? Are you okay? Are you mentally okay? Do you want to take a break?" Everyone else was checking on him
because he's had a lot on his plate. Oh my God, he's had so much on his plate.
I rewatched when I rewatched it, and we got to probably the most famous episode of Young Justice where they're all in therapy after the Miss Martian like mind thing. Went haywire. That is probably the most famous episode, and where he's like sitting there and he's just like, "I would put my resignation in for the team." And then Black Canary is just like, "Well, who would lead the team?" And he gives a rundown of everyone's character traits. It's like, this is why you're the perfect guy for this.
He's been carrying shit since, like, he's still being affected by shit from season 1. All the other characters
since Tula's death also, right?
Yeah.
Between 1 and 2. Oh, and the fact that Tula chose not to be with him, right?
Yeah.
That was season 1.
Yup. It has been rough on my boy. And he's finally, after, in their universe, 10 years, just taking a moment to go, I need to relax and kiss on my man.
I'm going to take a break.
Right.
I'm going to take a break.
I need to kiss on my mans. I need to just chill in the water.
Yeah.
I just need to drink some algae juice. Like, I'm gonna just chill.
Just go for a little swim. Take some time out.
I remember in episode 1 or episode 3 or whatever, the episode where they have to choose the leader. Like, I thought they were gonna go Robin, just like classic. They were just gonna like Robin leads the team, whatever. And then they're like, no, Calder, and I'm like, oh. That is a change. That is different. I like it.
I do like that they addressed in like when Nightwing and Calder like finally like spoke and everything. They addressed the fact that Dick was supposed to take over, once he like became the proper age and everything and had enough experience to take over, he was meant to take over the team, but it was all still on Calder.
Yeah.
He was still dealing with everything. And yeah, I was just happy that they addressed that, and the Dick was like, I'm so sorry for doing that.
Well, the only reason
he
I
deserved an
feel
apology.
yeah, the only reason I feel like Dick took over the team in season 2 was because Calder was with Black Manta.
Yeah,
he was undercover.
But technically speaking, he was still in charge of the team because he was just on the sidelines. It was very much like this is the manager staff, and then this is the floor staff, and then this is the cleaning crew. So it's like they're like the manager staff of the team. They are, and like the inner circle. I think it is an interesting thing that consistently they'll have like inner circle kind of things, and they'll be like, does McGann need to know? Nah. Since season 2, they're like, does McGann need to know? And then she don't know, and then she's like, break glass.
Yeah.
But I think it's really, I really enjoyed just first, we got Calder with a beard. Goat decision. Decision. Calder with the beard, goat decision.
Well, they're really trying to make him Aquaman, right? Like they're really trying to say, like, you gotta have a beard to be Aquaman.
They really are. They're pushing the Aquaman agenda, and now it's Lagan,
which is weird, right?
It is definitely giving Sam Wilson is promoted to Captain America. Oh, but now there's Captain Carter. It's definitely giving that a little bit.
Right. Like, why would Lagan be Aquaman? It doesn't.
I think it would have helped if we had a little bit more time with Lagan in season 3 instead of making him like a series regular in season 2 and then skipping over all the Lagan stuff. Because the next time we see him, he's in a polyamorous relationship. He is a husband, and he has a wife and husband, and he's a soon-to-be father. And he's chilled out. He's totally calm. He's
not jealous.
Functioning. Yeah, he's not jealous. He's a functioning member of.
He's had like 5 off-screen character arcs.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So like when homegirl rolled up to Lagan and she was like, "Oh, my husband," and then he was like, "I'm so excited about the baby," and then she said, "My husband." I was like, "What do you mean,
I was
your
confused
husband?"
too. I was confused too. Yeah.
Right, and then they pop up and it's just like, "Oh, we're doing polyamory." Oh, Young Justice said any diverse concept is in here. It's gonna be here.
Are they 3 different races? Because like he's Lagoon Boy, whatever he is. Then the guy has a fishtail, so he's a merman, right?
Yeah.
Is the girl an Atlantean but not a mermaid? She's not a mermaid, right?
I think so, yeah.
She has legs,
Yeah, I
right?
think she has legs. Yeah.
So they're like 3 different.
And
I think what they were trying to get at is that a merman and her couldn't have a kid. It's Lagan. I think it's Lagan's genetic material.
I don't know because the baby was Caucasian. So
Oh, really? Wait, the baby was born?
The baby was born, yeah. There's like one little panel of like, because Aqualad and Lagan and, I keep on calling him Aqualad, I'm sorry. Aquaman, Lagan, what's the girl with the light powers name? I can't remember. Dolphin.
It's Dolphin?
Dolphin?
Is it Dolphin? Is that who you're
I think it is Dolphin. It is Dolphin. It is like one of Aquaman's girlfriends from the comics that they changed completely.
Yeah.
And then who's the other character?
Because she's a meta from season 3.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Wind were all together. They were gone for months looking for the crown of Homeboy. And I can't remember his name right now.
His official title.
It's Aryan, but I don't like the name Aryan. I did a TikTok on it.
It felt really uncomfortable when all the Atlanteans were like chanting it.
Aryan,
I was like, oh.
Yeah.
I was like, it definitely was giving, didn't think this through. They couldn't call
was this a wise decision?
Yeah, I would like or like Aryan.
Ariana
Grande.
Omarion.
Omarion.
No, they went, let's go with like
Grande.
The worst possible pronunciation we could go with. That'll be fine.
Yeah.
I will. I did like the Ocean Master twist because I was watching this. So I was like, do we not see bro get beheaded?
No, that's what I was like that too. I was like, I thought he died in season. Was it season 3?
Yeah, I dead ass like stopped the episode. Like, wait, I opened up a tab, played the episode. He died. I was like, okay, he died because he was about to the kids, and I'm censoring that because of recent events here. He was gonna the kids and all the wives and other parents who were not, supers, and some of them were because Bumblebee and Rocket were there, but he was going that house, and then Lady Shiva was like, "Bro, you're tripping," and she was like, she was like, first of all, what's her sword made out of to cut off an Atlantean's head? And then I was like, okay, so if bro is dead, what's happening? And then he's a clone.
Yeah.
I was like, uh-oh, not the Attack of the Clones.
I did like that twist. I like that twist. I like that whole thing. I liked that.
I liked that it was like, you visited me 16 times and Aquaman was like, no, I did not. I showed up to the prison, which is public record, but I didn't come to see you because I couldn't bear the weight of seeing you.
Yeah.
That was crazy. That was nuts.
Yeah.
And Arian was like,
he was acting okay for most of the time. Like, I thought it was like, okay, I mean, I get that something's weird, but he hasn't done anything
suspicious. Wait, who would? Wait. If I'm correct, wasn't Arian the original Ocean Master?
Yeah.
Okay, and Vandal Savage's son's body. So he's like, I'm the one true king. I was like, this is not gonna go well because that crown's gonna know something is suspicious. So he puts on the crown and he gets zapped up.
It was very Indiana Jones, Raiders of the Lost Ark. He puts the crown and doesn't he just disintegrate?
He's like, and then he's like,
oh, because the Lord of Order or something.
Yeah, the Lords of Order just they popped him.
Yeah,
and I was like, that's crazy. And then Aquaman was like, yeah, my man Arthur came through. He was just like, listen, y'all, I know y'all kind of threw with me. You threw with bro over here. My wife's dad, my father-in-law. But you know who is consistent? Consistency is key. Esposa. He was like, esposa, te amo.
Do you guys say like, Mira? Do you guys say Mara or Mira?
Mira. Do people say Mira?
I say Mira because it's like Spanish. Just a classic and a ah.
Dimitri, you're proving that you just like to remix words, remix names.
What do you say, Mira?
Mira.
Okay.
That's literally how it's always said.
Because I'm gonna be honest. If there are people I think with the name Mira in real life, that's Meera. This is Mera. So I say Mira.
But they say Mira. Like in the Aquaman movie, they say Mira.
Yeah, but they say Aryan, and I'm not buying that Aryan.
Okay, I'll give you that one.
That was fair enough.
Yeah.
Listen, I'll give you that one, but this isn't a Ras Al Ghul situation where like he has 30 different pronunciations. This is it's Mira in the movie.
Is it Mira in the movie?
It's Mira in the movie, the shows, and every other one of her appearances where her name is said, it's Mira.
I've never heard anyone say Mira.
Yeah.
Mira Pereira.
That's just your agenda. That's it.
You have a make it rhyme with my name for agenda.
I think I'm stuck on like I took high school Spanish, so I'm not saying like I know everything, but they were like, oh yeah, Spanish is way easier than English because all the vowels are just always like the same pronunciation, and so it's like, oh, that makes things easier. So I kind of take that into like when I read things, and I'm like, okay. Is it an English word? If it's an English word, then like I have to like figure it out. But if it's like a fantasy or like a science fiction word, I'm like, how am I gonna do this? But anyway, that's just me. Abby, I want to know your thoughts about this Aquaman arc.
I very much enjoyed it. I thought that there's been a lot of times where we've seen in like the first 3 seasons, we saw like little glimpses of Atlantis, but only ever like relevant to just, oh, Calder happens to be there. He's getting called back up. Right. Off we go. And I know we saw like a bit more of it in like seasons 2 and 3 and everything, but I liked getting to spend this much time in Atlantis, and like the same with Mars as well, because we always hear little like bits and pieces about how things work, but we never actually get to see it, and we don't get to see like the citizens just interacting, going about their day, just generally just what the vibe is. Just what the vibe is. So yeah, I liked actually getting to see it properly as opposed to just be told about it.
Yeah. Did we see Atlantis in season 2? I know we did in season 1 when we go to it.
Yeah. I think
we must have for Lagan.
I think we didn't see a lot of Atlantis in season 2 because a lot of the water-based stuff was with Black Manta. He's not allowed there.
True.
He's not allowed to go there.
Of course. True. Very true.
So, I think it was just like I don't think in season 2 Atlantis had much of a presence. I think in season 1 there was like one solid episode because it was the Aqualad, Tula, Garth episode. And then in season 3, we definitely saw Atlantis a bit. But yeah, you're right. This is like the most time we spent in Atlantis. It was very nice.
And especially Mars. This is the first time we've been on Mars, right? I don't think we've ever been on Mars.
It's the first
on Mars
story.
for like yeah.
We've seen like little like tiny little glimpses of like flashbacks and everything for McGann and John and everything. But yeah, it's the first story on Mars for sure.
Yeah. Which was super cool. And everything. And then we get the Aquaman arc here. Again, I don't know why Lagan got promoted to Aquaman, but whatever. Everything happens off screen. That's the thing about this show. They bring up so much, and I'm cool with it because I can keep up. But like again, people would be like, "When did Rocket and whatever date? Did I miss that episode?" But it's like, no, you missed the comics. And then there's things that they reference that aren't even in the comics or in past episodes where it's like, "Oh, when did this happen?" Well, it just happened, dude. Just like get over it.
Just accept it.
like Jason just existing at all.
Right.
Yes.
Right.
He's just there, and little baby Damien, they're just there.
Yeah.
We don't even know if Damien was conceived in the Grant Morrison way or the New 52 way. We just know Damien was conceived.
Which one?
He just popped into existence. He just spawned.
The Grant Morrison way is the really bad way, and the New 52 way is the like it was love.
Well, New 52 was it love or was New 52 the test tube? Like
the test tube. He was always kind of okay. So what had happened was no matter what, he was conceived, and then Talia was like, okay, and then popped him in a test tube and just grew him there so he could like.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's how they explain it in New 52 because New 52 only lasts 5 years.
Well, it's also in Batman and Son because in Batman and Son, Batman and Son, you see him in like this green liquid growing because she was trying to make sure. She didn't show because she was still going to see Batman every now and again.
Yeah,
trying to make sure, he was going to pop up. They had to. It was a way to explain how there wasn't like, especially during the time period it would have happened for like the in canon comics because like 10 years at that point would have been like. For us, it was like what the 70s where we're getting Neil Adams, Denny O'Neil, Batman.
It was Talia. Son of the Demon.
Mm-hmm. So we get all that stuff. And then for us, that's like 20, 30 years later. But comic world, that's about 10 years. Comic world is about 10 years. Jason had been Robin and Tim had been Robin.
Yeah.
So for comics, it's about 10 years. So they had to explain Talia's appeared a bunch since then because she's a popular character.
Yeah.
So how do we explain it? Oh.
She was even head of LexCorp for a little bit.
They had to explain, she slipped him out, popped him in the tube.
But it's 9 months. It's 9 months, though.
I know, but Talia and Ross are not going to just disappear for 9 months. They're out doing stuff.
I mean, in the 90s, they didn't pop up that much, right? Or no, the 80s, they didn't pop up that much. Because Neil Adams
That's because Talia was raising Damien.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. I'm saying she doesn't have to test tube baby him.
I know, but it was probably just a way to explain all that.
Yeah.
All that,
yeah. I like the Son of the Demon way. They were in love, and they had sex, and he was gonna get married to her.
You're talking about like the OG, where they were like, he has a son. Let's retcon that. Okay.
Yeah. Well, Son of the Demon is referring to Batman and Ra's al Ghul, their connection, because he was gonna be his son, his son-in-law. Like he was gonna marry Talia and take over. and like there was that storyline. To the point where like you don't get any reference of that baby. You do get a reference of the baby in Kingdom Come.
But they had
Ibn al-Zufash.
Yeah, they had like basically like had been like Son of the Demon is not canon, at that point. Yeah, they were like that's
because that was pre-Crisis.
Yep. Yeah. They're like it's Elseworld, and then Grant Morrison in their Infinite was this is the one edition that I'll give them that I really love. Is my boy Damien, and we see him on the island, and the show is a little baby.
Yeah,
he's so cute.
they have to time jump a little bit, right, for Damien to grow up.
I don't know. He can be a little
the show is
Robin,
like running in 10 years.
It's a little sad that we see all the other baby super like kids just all hanging out, and then Damien's on a freaking ninja island.
Yeah,
so alone with his adopted brother who's like memory wiped and can barely speak.
Yeah,
Jason's just like Nightwing. Like,
let's talk about the Rocket arc. Rocket goes to New Genesis to figure out like what? What are they? It's like a peacekeeping mission?
Yeah. I think so. It's meant to be like a peace treaty thing.
Yeah, a peace treaty thing, and Rocket's kind of listen, I liked what this arc did, but it definitely was giving like is Rocket's arc in this arc to learn to accept
her son,
people with differences.
Yeah,
I was like, Orion, which is a way that's almost like the other name you said earlier. Orion, he's like different, right? And I don't know. I feel like the way to describe this is like Rocket learning to accept people's differences. It's like Rocket is a black woman. I don't think it's that tough for her to accept people having differences. Like my homegirl has definitely been through it. Okay?
Yes and no, right? Like we're dealing with like it's not Rocket understanding people are different. I think it's legitimately a behavioral or processing issue with her son, right? Like
he's autistic,
right? He's autistic. But the point being is I don't think it's like accept your son for being different. It's accept him for a specific thing, which is something that Orion has. Yeah. He also has behavioral and processing disability that the mother box works with, right?
Yeah.
And like learning how to not handle it, but like learning how to like respond to it.
Yeah, coping mechanisms.
I think I was taking this arc at face value. I think
because it's too broad. It's too broad to say like she had to like understand people are different. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I think it's a very specific thing.
Yeah, especially since this arc was just like, okay, Rocket, but also Warzod and Zod and Superboy and
Superboy in the Phantom Zone stuff.
Yeah,
which kind of sucks, right?
What do you mean?
Zatanna had to share her arc with a side story, which was Vandal Savage's stuff, and Rocket had to share her arc with the Superboy in the Phantom Zone with the Zods.
Yeah.
Even though they're the two characters that came in later than all the others back in season 1.
Yeah.
They should have had more time to actually be characters in their own story and not just vessels for the story around them.
Yeah.
Because especially with Rockets as well, like we had that like one scene of her with her son at the start. Yeah. And I was like, okay, cool, that's what she's struggling with back on Earth. And then we just have this 3-episode thing where like everything that's going on with her and her family on Earth is basically just not mentioned.
Right.
And then all of a sudden, right at the end of the arc, she's back on Earth and she's learned something here, guys.
Right. It was definitely like, so we have time to wrap up a storyline from Green Lantern, the animated series, but not give Rocket more screen time? Are you dead ass, my man?
Yeah.
I was like, great for y'all. I've never seen Green Lantern, the animated series, because it was starring Hal Jordan. Dimitri, I know you've already said, you should watch it. It's not really about how blah, blah, blah.
No. I didn't say that because I'm going to be honest. I've only seen a couple episodes.
Oh, then who said
it wasn't me. I don't know. Well, because I've
not watched it either.
I used to like Hal until I had to process that. I was like, but like I grew up on Kyle Rayner and Jon Stewart.
Kyle Rayner the GOAT.
You know, and then Hal came around, and I did like Jeff Johns, so I was like, I'm gonna like what he writes, and so I was reading the Hal comics. But like now that I'm older and I can like think back, Kyle and John are just two better Green Lanterns. Hell, Guy is better than Hal. Hal lacks personality.
And when they do, this is the Hal Jordan Barry Allen problem, is when they're just like, oh, these characters are very much blankly good guy, is basically a policeman, good guy.
The
right?
one true blank also.
Yeah.
They play with that.
But then the problem is they have no personalities outside of like they think real hard sometimes. No. So you have to steal personality traits from other characters. But then when you introduce those characters, now you got to come up with new stuff for them because they're now the same character. Mm-hmm. That is also the Robin problem, where they're like, oh, let's get one Robin in, and then let's just amalgam a bunch of character traits in. So that's I feel like that's the Tim Drake problem in the show, because like they gave the tech and hacking thing to Dick Grayson.
Yeah.
And they introduced Tim Drake, who originated the tech and hacking thing for Robin.
Right.
So it was very much
it's like Tim's got a bow staff.
Yeah.
That's his defining trait. He's got a big stick.
But Tim shouldn't have a big stick. Tim should have the big stick, and Nightwing should have the Eskrima.
Yeah.
Right?
But in season 1 of Young Justice.
And in Teen Titans, Robin has the bow staff. Yeah. And then like, okay, all right. Mm-hmm. They do mix them up a lot. Like in Batman the Animated Series, the Jason Todd kind of origin, but with Tim Drake.
Mm. He's in Batman the Animated Series or the new Batman Adventures.
Yeah.
He really is just like Jason Todd,
right.
with Tim Drake's name, and
right.
some of Tim Drake's personality traits, like the go-getter. I need to be Robin because Batman needs a Robin thing. That's very much Tim Drake.
Yeah.
That little go-getter. I know what you're saying, Bruce, right now, but I don't care. I just need to do what I need to do. Kind of, that's very much Tim Drake. But like,
but they do mix them up.
Yeah, it's that problem in this show. That's even in Young Justice, they had that problem with Barry Allen, because Barry Allen, he was giving Barry, but like that whole talkative thing. That's a Wally trait. Yeah. Barry's very much analytical, very much like thinker.
Abby, do you have favorites that were changed kind of like that?
Ooh,
like mashing up personality traits and like all that stuff.
Well, I think it is like the one that I noticed the most is with the Robins, because it's like Batman is the main DC thing that I was kind of raised on.
Right.
So I know like a lot of that, and then a fair amount of the others, but it's it is very much. But when I notice Robins with the traits of others, I'm like, oh, you shouldn't have that. You shouldn't be doing that.
Why are you so good with tech, chick? Like,
that I think I might have a wild statement. I think the closest we've gotten to like an actually like that is Dick Grayson. Dick Grayson in animation, the Batman from 2004. That Dick Grayson is like spot on. Like he's got the right personality, he's got the right motivations. The only issue is he uses the stick, but like that's the only thing. Versus like in this show, it is Dick Grayson like personality wise, the tech thing, even though they moved away from it. You stole Tim's flow, bar for bar, word for word.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
I think it's because this might be a hot take. Dick Grayson as Robin doesn't matter that much to Batman's mythos. It matters that he exists. He needs to exist. But tell me a major Dick Grayson Robin story.
Literally the first 40 years of Batman, he was always there.
No,
so.
I get it. But like what I mean is when you're planning out the Robins and you want some actual good Dick Grayson, like if you're gonna tell a story and it's Batman and his first Robin, it's Dick Grayson, he falls short. I like Dick Grayson as Nightwing. I think it works better with that. I like my Tim Drake Robin.
I think the most important thing is, one, you need Dick Grayson to help soften Batman up a bit,
right?
Because that two, like for World's Finest type stories, I really think having Dick there is important because that dynamic of Bruce, Dick, and Clark is really important, especially for Bruce and Clark, because Dick is kind of like, personality-wise, he's like them, like combined. So like there's things he can go to Batman to, you know, and then there's things he goes to Superman for, hence why he's Nightwing. But I think the most important thing about Dick Grayson in his relationship to Batman is it establishes all the things of like the what you expect a Robin to be, the rules for Robin, but it also helps push forward Batman as a whole. I feel like if Dick Grayson is not important to the Batman mythos, then you don't have I mean, like Robin.
That's not what I said.
No, I'm saying
that isn't what I said.
I'm saying Robin as the character is important, but I think Dick Grayson specifically helps make Batman a better, the character who can take on more Robins, who can work with a team, who can, if you don't have specifically Dick Grayson, because Dick Grayson's personality, he's talkative, he's a go-getter, he makes jokes, that kind of thing is, if you don't have that, Bruce is still in here all the time.
No, I mean, I'm agreeing with you. That part. Yeah. I'm just saying that, like, Dick Grayson as Robin, his contribution is a stepping stone to other things, as opposed to him. If you have to make him interesting without taking the better parts of the next two Robins, it's tough. You make him an acrobat, like that's how you make him like different than the others. He's an acrobat.
I think the thing that's most important for that is they're the Batman and Robin combo that is the most in sync. They're the most like, I know what the other person is thinking. I know how the other person's feeling. And I think it's portrayed really well in this show is when in the first season, Dick is like, well, Batman and I don't speak when we have plans. We just do it.
Yeah.
And they're like, and Wally's like, well, you can't really do that, bro, because we're not Batman, you know? And I think that kind of thing, like they trust each other enough to do that. They are a unit. They are Batman and Robin. They're a unit. They come together. They're the salt and pepper. You need, I think you need Dick Grayson as the person specifically to help push Bruce forward. Yeah. Right. You need him for that for sure. Yeah.
I think the only like one that aren't really Dick Grayson storylines, like specific story arcs and comments and everything that make huge packs. I think the only one that's really, really significant is like when he's Robin is right at the beginning when he goes after Tony Zuko. Yeah. Because that's the moment where Batman kind of realizes, okay, I've been training this kid to basically be me. Now I need to train him to be better me. Right. Yeah. I need to make sure that he doesn't like go down the kind of like wrong path, because it's that whole thing of like Dick Grayson is supposed, like in Bruce's eyes, he's supposed to be like the better version of Batman. That's what he was training him for. Right. And I think that's the kind of like important thing in their relationship. That was the arc that made Batman realize, okay, I need to switch things up. I need to change how I'm doing things, which then later on makes like a huge difference in just like Batman as a character. Right. I think that's the one important story.
Yeah, because the unfortunate thing is Dick Grayson existed primarily from the 40s to like being Batman's like that's his guy from the 40s to like whatever New Teen Titans was. Yeah. So
70s.
At that point in the comics, and up until the late 60s, we did not have story arcs. Yeah, that's we had like one-off issues. Yeah. I think if you take some from the I think if you take something from the 60s, it would be like introducing Barbara Gordon, which would be like another important story is like, oh, we're expanding the family, huh? But she's also like her own hero. She's just kind of she's just using the symbol. So I think for Dick Grayson, the most important thing is like he's the gateway to Bruce opening up the family. Like he's the gateway to Bruce coming on. Like, but it has to be specifically Dick Grayson to make it interesting because the thing that makes him so, like, their dynamic so important is Bruce is like an OCD introvert. He does not speak a lot. He's very internal. You have this kid who bounces, he's basically like this little sugar-filled child. He bounces off the walls. You have someone completely opposite of who you are. He's cracking jokes. He's sarcastic. He's making all.
He's having fun.
Yeah, he's having fun. He's breaking down Bruce's walls slowly. So, like, you now have a Batman that can joke around. Because people like to think, oh, Batman's super serious, blah, blah, blah. But no, that has not been the case for a long time because he has Robins. Like, we have many comics where Bruce Wayne, just as Bruce Wayne talking to Alfred, jokes. He makes jokes. He's sarcastic. He does that. So, like, you can't have a Bruce Wayne that plays with people if you don't have specifically Dick Grayson. And their partnership is just important for the development of both of them because it also is like the another story you can tell is Batman training Robin to be a leader. That's another story you can tell because that's Dick Grayson's like next important thing. He's a leader. He's being, I don't want to say groomed because the negative connotations, but he's groomed for leadership. He's groomed to be a leader. And that isn't super present with the other Robins. Tim Drake is just a natural leader. Jason Todd did not ever lead the Teen Titans. Yeah. But the next time we actually see that is with Duke Thomas, is that I'm training you to be a leader, to lead something.
Does that happen?
Yeah. This was in Batman Secret Files.
Outsiders?
Not yet, but Bruce specifically says to him, like, I'm training you to end up potentially leading the Justice League. And Duke's like, okay. Gotcha.
I miss that alternate future Duke Robin costume. You know what I'm talking about? When he has like the dreads pulled back with the armored Robin. Before we get back to the Young Justice, I just wanted to say that, like, you to do Dick properly, the leadership aspect, but you can't give him brutality. You can't give him an edge because then he becomes Jason. And you can't give him crazy detective skills or tech skills because that's Tim's, right? So, like, you have to.
And they kind of did both of those in Titans,
right?
Yeah,
right. You'd have to do both. Like, Titans did both of those, and in Young Justice they give him the tech stuff, you know. And it's like, okay, I guess, but
I think the trait that makes Dick interesting is he's not Bruce. And the reason I say, like, every Robin has an aspect of Bruce that is, like, really apparent. Jason's is the brutality. Tim's is the analytical thinking. I don't want to say Jason's is brutality. I feel like that's an oversimplification of Jason Todd. Jason Todd's is his emotions. The emotional spectrum that he feels is the basic same emotional spectrum of Bruce. And that's what happens when you have two similar people interacting with each other.
I'd use the term relentless.
Yeah, they're both relentless in that.
Like, it's like Jason just hasn't had like the experience and the training to hold back on.
I would say Damien's is a little bit more of the brutality. He struggles with like making his anger function in a normal setting. Dick Grayson is the leadership aspect, but Dick Grayson is who Bruce would be if he had a proper role model. You know what I'm saying? Because Alfred did what he could, but you can't. Being in a subordinate position to a child is difficult, right? Even though you're raising him, it's still difficult versus Dick Grayson having someone to kind of show him, like...
He could tell him no.
He can tell him no, yeah. Dick Grayson is very much like everything Bruce could have been, like a happier child, somebody who has a bright future ahead of him, who can inspire hope instantly. That's Dick Grayson, and that's the interesting thing. It's a good cop, bad cop thing. You have like inexperienced kid, and then you have like the disgruntled guy who's been doing it for a while.
I feel like Dick got the tactical mind from Bruce, but got the hope and leadership, sort of that type of leadership from Superman. Because Superman and Batman are both leaders, but they're leaders in different ways. That's why you always get the Justice League, like Superman inspires, and Batman's like, all right, Flash, you take him from that side. Martian, John, link us all up, and Hal, get out of my way. You're an idiot.
Yeah, I think that's it. And I think that important aspect of Dick Grayson being so personable is how they're able to be juxtaposed. It's the introvert friend and the extrovert friend.
I think it's because Dick Grayson was allowed to have friends and have a role model in Superman. He's the one person who learned positively from his relationships with others. Batman learned negatively from his relationship with others. Like, he learned how to take down his friends. That's a different thing. Nightwing,
And I think as well, just simply, Dick grew up around either people who were going through this like similar kind of things at the same time, like Wally and Roy, whatever, or around people like Batman and Superman who'd already gone through the motions of it.
Right.
He had both like people on his same level to go through it together with, and people who've already made the mistakes so that he doesn't need to.
Right. And like he luckily had the Teen Titans, the original 5, right? Him and the other 4. And then he had the all new Titans where it's like, you know, all new Teen Titans where, you know, he's in a leadership role, he's doing his thing, he's finding new, like having new relationship with new people like Raven, who wasn't on the team before, and like I think having friends.
Yep.
Batman didn't have friends.
Yep. And I think that's the important thing, is that we see Bruce make those decisions like, I want you to be around these other kids because that'll be healthy for you.
Yeah.
Dick Grayson going like, but why? I want to be around you. Bruce is like, trust me. I understand. Trust me. It's going to be weird. Trust me. Well, that's such an important thing that Bruce is like, I need you. I need to raise you to not be like me. And the issue comes when they're adults, when they're both like, when Dick's like 18 and Bruce is like 30 something, is like, okay, now you've taught me everything I needed to know. Let me lead. And Bruce is like, man, right? No, Bruce is like, it's
Bruce is like, I'm the boss, right?
Yeah. Yeah, it's like, whoa, what? And he's like, what was all this training for, my man? So he's like, I'm leaving college. I'm leaving you. I'm gonna go hang out with my friends.
Yeah,
it's his to unfortunately, and I apologize for doing it. To quote Titans, it's his "fuck Batman" moment.
Yeah.
It is literally just that moment.
They didn't even heal that relationship until like post Nightfall. That's what's crazy. That was a long time.
There's a 3-shot comic called Robin and Batman, and it's a really good. It's just 3 issues. It's really good, and like Bruce tells him to go hang out with the Titans, and then when he comes back, though, Bruce is like, "All right, now tell me how you would take him down."
Yeah.
And I'm like,
I remember. If you know other Marauder Luna, she was like telling me she was reading it, and she was like showing me like pages, and I was just like, "This is an interesting take."
I liked
really
it
interesting
because Dick.
Alfred was pissed.
Dick did what Bruce said. Like, Dick was like, okay, this is how I would take him down. But I feel like Dick didn't believe it. Dick didn't want that, right? He was happy just being part of the team, and you can see that in that comic. And then Bruce is like, all right, how would you take him down? And he's like, okay, this is my homework assignment, right? But it doesn't need to be my major, right? And I feel like that kind of comes out of that, like, those 3 issues. Is like, I'm not going to be Batman, but I guess I got to do my homework until then. You know? Let's talk about this final arc in Young Justice season 4 before we get going. And that is the final, like, oh no, Tomar Ray, come on. Tomar Ray, and then like
that hurted.
And then
that hurted.
Dick moved Tomar 2, like with Tomar 2 and what's his name? Valzad? No, Lorzod.
Lorzod. Valzad's a good person.
Yeah,
Lorzod is a bad person.
Yeah.
Listen, see, to go back to Rocket's art. 1, Tomar Ray. We see him.
He sacrificed it, man.
Anytime we see Tomar Ray or Kilowog get like hurt or murked, I'm like torn up because those are my guys. Those are like, I love them, and like I liked the Forager becoming Green Lantern. That was kind of hype. I was like, whoa! She broke it. She's like, ah! And she like got the ring. I was like, no way! They just pulled this.
Also the Foragers just being in love is kind of cute.
They're so cute. I love them. They're so adorable. I know people hate the speech pattern. I think it's cute.
It's adorable.
Yeah. You think that's what like Taylor Swift and Taylor Lautner talked like when they were dating? Taylor
Did
and
you just like
Taylor.
have that in the bag already?
No, I just came up with it. I was like, I was trying to think of well, there's no girl named Dimitri, so I can't apply it to me. And I was like,
You don't
wait.
know that. You
Oh,
don't know
wait.
that. There could be some random girl named Dimitri.
Well, there's Demi Lovato, who's Demetria. That's what Demi is short for.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh, mad. Didn't know that.
But it still wouldn't work. But Taylor Swift and Taylor Lautner, the Taylors, Taylor and Taylor, Taylor and Taylor. Like, if they're just talking like that the whole time.
I don't know. I just listen, Forager, that was my favorite addition because he's just such a sweetheart. He's like Forager. You know?
I was so afraid Lorzod would kill a Forager.
Same. I was stressed because listen, this arc was like, okay, see, this is my favorite little piece of connective tissue. So he murks Tomar Ray. Then in the Nightwing arc, he's just like, he says some snide comment to Tomar 2 without Tomar 2 realizing he was like,
Like, I think I knew your father.
I hope you follow in his footsteps. That's what he says. Or something like that.
Sorry, and that's why your ass got incinerated.
Yeah. I've been on the fuck Lorzod train this whole time. Since he killed Tomar Ray, I was like, he's not redeemable. Like, he killed Tomar Ray, and then he did that Tomar 2 thing, and I'm like, no, this guy needs to die. And
that's not just a man on a mission. That's a man being intentionally spiteful.
Right.
No.
He's just evil. He's evil. In fact, I think Lorzod is more evil than, is it Druzod?
Yeah, Druzod.
I think he's more evil than Druzod. Druzod's just like, I served my time. I mean, Druzod did the whole, like, I want to take over Earth thing. Yeah. But he didn't. Did Druzod even kill anyone? I don't think so.
That we see.
I don't think so. No.
I don't think so. Like, even the fake out with Miss Martian is, what's her name? Who's Druzod's wife?
Oh, yeah.
I think it was Ursa. Ursa Zod.
Yeah.
Ursa. Ursa at least kills Miss Martian, but Druzod never kills anyone. Not that I remember.
I don't think he killed anyone on screen. I think they referenced to him killing people, but in this, he was just like a manipulator.
Right.
He was a manipulator. He was a gaslighter. He was...
like girl keep gay boss.
The girl boss.
But like, I'm just saying, like, Druzod could be redeemable, but like Lorzod, nah. No. So that's why I'm like, fuck him. I don't care for him at all. Also hated Connell being like, oh yeah, and then like ratting out everybody.
he was reset the factory settings. He was
idiot.
I'm getting a little bit tired of that. I can't lie. The amount of times that we've seen the Superboy's worked through his anger thing and he knows who he is as a person, but then crazy mind psychic thing and factory reset.
Yeah.
And then but he works through it because he sees he sees his girlfriend.
Right.
He sees his fiance. He sees his wife.
Right.
I'm not
and then
gonna
he's back
lie.
to normal. And then next season he's gone again.
I'm not gonna lie. When I first saw that the screenshot of shaved head Connor and McGann kissing, I was like, did Rick Grayson make an appearance?
Oh,
I was so scared.
Are we talking about
Rick
for the
had
wedding?
a head injury. He had a head
Oh
injury.
my
I was like, I saw that shaved head on Twitter. I was like, is that Rick? Rick? I was so scared.
because
Please
Nightwing
no.
faked his death.
I know. I was scared. I was like, is that Rick Grayson and Barbara kissing? Because her eyes were closed. So I didn't know.
Yeah.
No, thank God. Oh my God.
That would have been horrendous.
I was so scared. But a shaved head Superboy. He's in his Justin Timberlake leaving NSYNC era. He's in his Zayn Malik leaving One Direction era. He shaved the head. He shaved the head. He's got a girl. And of course, next season there's going to be some shenanigans because they are never going to let him have peace.
I'm tired also of the faking death thing. Young Justice does it every season, every single time. Multiple people faking their deaths. Can we not do it anymore? Because I thought Nightwing was dead.
Same.
I was stressed for a whole
week?
whatever 24 times 7 is. I was stressed. I was just like, are Rocket, Superman, and Nightwing going to make it out alive?
I thought they would do like a time travel thing, like in the final episode to like, because they have the time sphere. Yeah.
They're the time sphere. They
because
had
of
the cosmic treadmill too.
It was because of the like supposed graphicness of Nightwing's death. I was like, oh, okay, that looks like they're like making a point. They're showing us this isn't like, oh, he's just been knocked out. No, he's like bleeding out and is very much dead. And like the whole like listening for the heartbeat thing, I was like, oh no, please no.
Right.
Please no.
And then Miss Martian fakes her death when she gets her heart ripped out. But it's like,
yeah.
And then Rocket had died at that point. So I'm like, I thought everybody was going to die except one person. They were going to go back in time and reset things. But
because that was like a big thing at the start, because everyone was like, oh, the series is called Phantoms. Everyone in the title sequence, they're all holograms.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was expecting them to do some like proper like big balls move like that.
Yeah.
And every one of those holograms except Zatanna and Kelder faked their death or had a death fake up.
Yeah.
I was stressed. I was like, you are not about to kill Rock. And then they showed Amistad's cars flipped over at the end of that episode too, during the title. Yeah. I was like, ain't no way. Ain't no way. And then she came back and I was like, you are not about to kill my good sis who has not had any character development.
You know what's funny is the boom tube closed while she was in it, and then she had her protective bubble, so she ends up in Metron's whatever, like little pocket dimension thing. And then Metron gives her the time sphere. Dude, people have been talking about it online. The ending with Lor-Zod.
That was petty.
Lor-Zod gets into the time sphere, but then Metron says it's an experiment. He said something about an experiment. And the time sphere appears right before Khan is going to die. The time sphere appears and Lor-Zod goes to, like, kill him, right? And then he dies. He's the ash. He's
the marking on the wall, yeah.
On the wall. And so people online were like, Metron was there to test Lor-Zod to see, will you still make the same mistake? Will you, after all that has happened, will you get out of the time sphere to kill Connor? And he does, and he dies. That's the experiment. Was Lor-Zod redeemable? Was Lor-Zod able to change his ways? And he wasn't. And thus he's dead.
They were gruesome with it. They showed us the layers peeled back. I was like, oh.
Good. Because they want us to know that, like, nah, he's not coming back. Except that's that timeline's version. He's gonna come back. He's Ursa's pregnant with him.
Oh yeah.
And Ursa got dragged away by the Emerald Eye at Ekron.
That's true.
She's pregnant with him. Zod is back, Drew Zod is back in the Phantom Zone, along with Malafa'ak, right?
But now we have a third option, because Lor-Zod isn't always evil in the comics.
No, I think he's going to be good.
I think he might end up being like if they pull a big like roundabout way of like, oh, this is going to be our version of Valor on the Legion of Superheroes, that would be interesting.
Someone was going to say he's like Chris Kent.
Chris Kent, yeah.
Is that Valor? No, Valor is Mon-El.
Chris Kent, Chris Kent is like that Superboy from the New 52. That was a whole issue. Who like fought the other Superboy.
But that's a different Chris Kent, or something.
Yeah. This they might pull a like Artemis and just like remix a bunch of storylines. Like we have the I'm Real version of Jennifer Lopez, then we have the I'm Real Murder Inc. remix with Ja Rule. This might be the Ja Rule version of Lor-Zod, and he might be like, "No, Mom, there's other Kryptonians and they're like cool." Ursa Zod is a treacherous woman. That is wait. I just realized, Dimitri, your background has a freaking spoiler on it. We didn't even know. Ursa is colored green, right?
Oh.
Yeah.
That was a whole hint to us the whole time. She was gonna get the Emerald Eye.
Yeah, but like
I didn't even catch that until right now.
Did we see the Emerald Eye at any point before Lor-Zod?
I think at the way beginning when he was first introduced, that was one of those put a pin in it kind of moments in Young Justice.
Okay.
Because that's They're so the marketing team. Look at it. She's green. She's covered in green light. I was confused by that. I was like, why is she stuck in the Phantom Zone? It's not the Phantom Zone, Ben.
No, because
it's the Emerald Eye light.
That's the Phantom Zone.
Yeah, exactly.
Blue. Yeah, and then you have the time sphere over here.
Mm-hmm.
You know, here's the thing. Somebody compared it to Trunks from DBZ, because there's two versions of Trunks. There's a Trunks who goes back in time, right? In the Cell Saga, and then there's Baby Trunks, who's born and then grows up, and we see him, and he's technically a different Trunks. Like, that's I think what Lore Zod's gonna be.
I think that might be it. I hope this Lore Zod this new one is not treacherous like the original.
I hated that guy. I hated him.
He was terrible. He was such a terrible person.
Yeah. He deserved that death.
I loved him. I hated
100%.
him. I hated him in the correct way. Like, I hated him because he was such a good villain.
Yeah.
He was might be one of Young Justice's best villains because he was just evil. He was like, obviously he wanted to bring his parents back, which was like a whole, it's his little sentimental thing. He just also, was like everyone else out my fucking way. He was very much evil, and I loved him for it. I loved him for it.
Because I would say, again, Drew Zod isn't even evil. He made a good point up until the whole, like, wanting to conquer Earth thing, right? Whatever. But, like, the whole point of, like, we've been here for 40 years. We haven't, like, they have forgotten about us. We were in prison for 40 years. It should have been, 5 years, 10 years, whatever he said?
Yeah.
Like, and now it's been 40 years. By the way, canon 40-year-old Superman.
Yeah. I like that. I like we have.
Or 39. Like, it would have been before Krypton exploded, but still, whatever.
Yeah. I liked how Kaldor was like, we can
create a committee.
Decide this.
Right?
We can committee this because you're right. Your planet's exploded. Like, we can committee this. And then he was like, no. And it's just like, well, we have my brother Kaldor over here was offering you an option, and you were like, what option should I take?
Literally
fascism.
Yeah. Just a side note, in real life, in Germany, they have a rule, but basically, like, if you escape prison but don't commit any other crimes, they won't penalize you for escaping, because I think it's Germany. It might be some other countries too, but basically saying that trying to escape imprisonment is a natural human thing. And so as long as you don't commit any crimes while escaping, you can't get penalized for the act of escaping. Now, if you kill a guard while you do, no, that's different. But like, if you sneak out in a laundry chute or whatever, you're not going to get penalized for it because it's just natural that you would try to escape. So kind of makes sense that like Drew Zod is like a committee, or I just walk past you through this boom tube. Like, it is what it is. What are you going to do? I don't know. I can't blame him for that. Wanting to conquer Earth? Yes. Because also, this is a system that has forgotten about him, or an absence of a system that forgot about him. Who's to say the new system won't forget about him?
Also, the fact that Superman, he kind of like stabbed Superman in the chest with the kryptonite. I don't think it wasn't many options for our good boy Drew Hill. Our good friend Cisco.
You're right.
Like, he could have worked with my man's Clark, and instead it was full on. It was not Pound Town. That sounds wrong. It was full on. He was like, I'm gonna just whip your ass, and what are you gonna do about it? My ass? No. But he did.
By the way, I do like Black Zod. That is something that has popped up. I think the first time ever was in the Krypton series. But they make it so that the Zod line and the L lines are connected. In the if you haven't seen the Krypton show,
I'm not.
I saw like half of it, I think. I definitely saw like the first few episodes at least.
It's worth it. Watch the two seasons. Like, Lobo is great in it. Brainiac Lobo is a beast and it's just a shitty human being. Or he's not even a human being, but like he's great. He's great. He's just Yeah. It's the only live action Lobo we've ever gotten. Like, definitely worth. He's sent to hunt down, not Jor-El, but whatever his father. Because it's about, dude. There's a lot going on in Krypton, and it involves the legacy of Superman, and then going back in time to kill that legacy. So there's this whole like a bunch of stuff. Doomsday's in it. Brainiac, Lobo, Zod, the mother of Zod. Oh. I just realized. Oh, no, I'm not going to tell you the twist. Watch it. There's some major twists in Krypton, and I wish it continued. Because nobody had faith in it, but it was good.
It did definitely kind of fly under the radar. There wasn't anywhere near as much like promotion and shit for it.
There was not.
I forget it existed.
It was on Sci-Fi.
Same thing with that Pennyworth show. There's a whole show about Alfred that like,
because that's
I don't
on
know what network.
Stars.
Yeah, I don't know what network.
Or
yeah,
Epics or something. Yeah.
They just be making these shows and then be like, oh, why is it canceled? I never saw any promo, my man.
Right. Right. Or at least a promo that explains that it's Batman related. Because when you go Pennyworth, the mainstream audience is just like, I don't know what this is. Is this
like name it Alfred? They know his first name.
Right. Right.
Well, like the Swamp Thing series that had so much potential.
They canceled it after the first episode came out. That was great. That was wild. That was
because they lost money or there was some.
It was a lot of money. It was a lot of money to make.
Yeah, and there was some like logistical thing that changed. Like they couldn't film in Georgia anymore or something like that. There's some weird thing. What do you guys want in a Young Justice season 5? We kind of touched on it. I think I want that core team to start it off in a one arc, like a 5-episode arc, and then kind of split off. Personally, I would love a spin-off show. Let's get the Gotham gang. Let's get let's get
Duke Thomas. I mean, listen, he's the right age.
Right.
I mean, Tim, he's around the same age as Tim and Cass and Steph. Give me the signal. I need the signal.
Right.
I wish he was like in existence by the time Young Justice season 2 came out, because he could have been one of the metas that was kidnapped or one of the kids that was kidnapped.
Yeah,
that would have been very nice.
I mean, one of my favorite like scenes from the show was in I think season 2 when we just got that whole like extended fight sequence where it was literally just the Bat Fam just on a little mission.
Yeah,
and you saw like Nightwing, you saw Batgirl, it was amazing. It was so good.
We had the TNBA 4. It was so nice. It was so nice. That I'm sorry, like TNBA or Batman the Animated Series, Bruce, Tim, Dick, Barbara. That's like those are my 4 go-tos, like for sure.
Yeah.
Man. Give me Duke Thomas. Duke Thomas.
Because we're not gonna get a live action show anytime. Like Gotham Knights is going to die after the first episode. Nobody wants to see Gotham Knights if it even gets released. I hope they're not filming the rest of the show. I hope they just filmed the pilot, because that show, everybody's crapping on it. Nobody wants it. It makes no sense. Nobody wants that Gotham Knights show.
Terrible marketing to name it after the video game that's coming out too.
And the video game's like, nah, they're not us.
I'm so angry, by the way, about the game, just on a side note, because they promised the entire, like, the last however long that they've been making this game, they promised that it was still going to come out on last-gen consoles. I've only got a PS4. I don't have a PS5.
I have a PS4. I don't have a PS5. But
and then all of a sudden, on the day of pre-orders, we're only releasing it on new gen.
Yeah.
Whew.
I'm going to get a PS5. I'm going to get a PS5 for Spider-Man 2 anyway. But the question is whether I'll get a PS5 by Gotham Knights, or I'll just get Gotham Knights after I get a PS5 in 2023. Because
I have luckily avoided Miles Morales spoilers completely. So like, and I want to get I've avoided spoilers for the Miles Morales.
I have it completely on PS4. I was like, I'm fine.
Yeah. I didn't want it on PS4 because I have a friend who had it on PS4. He's like, there's definitely some frame rate drop issues. I'm just like, I don't want to deal with that.
I'm cool with it.
I just want to be Miles in his excellence, how he was supposed to be on PS5. But I, don't have a PS5 because those are rarer than unicorns at this point. The way PlayStation, if you're a PSN member, they'll like email you like, we have a limited stock of PS5 going, you first dibs. It's just like, why are you? It's never when I have money. They're always, it's like, I've just paid something off, or I just bought something like a major thing that I needed like
Right.
And they're just like, oh, PS5s are going up. It's like,
I need to get a new job or a new influx of money somehow, some way to get a PS5. So I'm not worried about it right now. But the question is if Gotham Knights ends up being good, I will probably get a PS5 earlier than 2023. You know, maybe I'll get a Black Friday deal or something. There's bound to be Black Friday PS5s. Like, and then it'll just be a couple months after Gotham Knights comes out. It is what it is. But I gotta have it by Spider-Man 2 for next year. So
I'm worried about Gotham Knights because not because I think the game will be bad, but because that Red Hood Nightwing trailer did nothing for the fans because that Tim Drake and Batgirl trailer, or why am I calling him Tim, but I'm calling her Batgirl. That Robin and Batgirl trailer was phenomenal. Like phenomenal. The gameplay was phenomenal.
I'll just play as Tim the whole time then.
Here's the thing. They were playtesting the game. It was still playtested. And the person knew how to use Batgirl and Robin, but I do not feel like the person knew how to use Red Hood and Nightwing. It was like major gaps between the fighting. I was like, ew. Yeah. Maybe we should have got someone who knew how to play the game. Yeah.
But it's so disappointing because the first like full proper trailer for it
looked amazing.
Amazing. It looked so good. And I'd been anyone that was like in my general vicinity ever since that trailer came out knows that I'd just been ranting and raving about it all the time. It looks so fantastic. The like genuinely creepy inclusion of like the Court of Owls and everything. I was so excited. And then all of a sudden the new like little looks at it came out and I was like, oh.
Yeah.
Oh, I had such high hopes.
That being said, we got an embarrassment of riches now as comic book fans, as these fans of these things. Like we got a lot going on, and like we at the beginning of this episode we talked about our love for Young Justice and having to wait 2 years for season 1, and like we don't have to do that anymore per se. We got a lot of stuff going on, which is awesome.
I think it's just tough, a little bit more tough as a DC preferred fan. As a Marvel preferred, you're eaten. Spider-Man fans are eaten so well, they are ungrateful. They have gotten so much. We have gotten so much good Spider-Man stuff. People are ungrateful. Like, I hate the Tom movie. It's like, bro, some of the stuff we're getting is excellent. Like, y'all need to chill, okay? But y'all hyping up Venom? No. But as DC fans, there is always some bullshit happening to us and our favorite franchise. Like, the Flash movie.
And it should be easy enough. It should, like, a lot of these should be alley-oops, right?
Yeah. It's like, how are you? Robin, Red Hood, Nightwing, and Batgirl are popular enough on their own to have a game per person. So 4 of them in one game should be no-brainer, gigantic. And then you have a fool playing the game who don't know how to use the game. Come on. Why? I need to get me in the studio. Get me game test. I'm an Arkham maniac. I would have done so well on that game test.
Suicide Squad Kills the Justice League is also coming
that's gonna be awesome.
I'm so excited for that.
Unequivocally, like undeniably.
They had better not mess that up.
Yeah.
They had better not mess it up. But going back to sorry, because like when you asked earlier about like, oh, what other things we want to see, like spin-offs and everything, I'm really liking the kind of little burst of focus on Gar. I'm really enjoying it.
Yeah.
Because like he's been through a lot as well. And I like that the fact that they're not just referencing the things that he's gone through in this show, but also like his past stuff with the Doom Patrol and everything.
Which never was seen. We never saw it.
Never.
Yeah.
No. Well, I was so happy when Robot Man just made a little appearance.
Yeah.
That was so nice.
And I genuinely, I would love, like, if we're talking spin-off shows, I would enjoy a spin-off show about Gar and his time even with the Doom Patrol or even now dealing with that. I know obviously we've got like the live-action Doom Patrol series, but they definitely seem to be two very different kinds of Doom Patrols. Yeah. You've got like the Young Justice Doom Patrol that keeps on getting referenced is a lot more. It's the classic one.
It's a Silver Age superhero squad.
Yeah.
Not
whereas
a weird.
The live action one is the revamped Mindfuck Doom Patrol. So even if those run, if they were to make that spin-off, I would feel like perfectly happy with those running alongside each other because they would just be so different.
There was a lot of teams that were especially introduced in this series. Like, we could get an Outsider spinoff. We can get a Bat Fam spinoff. We can get a whole new Green Lantern cartoon. Like, we could do that.
I would really like, if they got their shit together, if they really got it together, Dakotaverse. Dakota, the Milestone characters.
Like, do another Static Shock.
Icon, Static, the Hardware and Icon are both in Young Justice. We have some of the Dakota characters already. Hardware is in Young Justice. He's a part of the Justice League. He's appeared in the background. I'm not sure if he has any speaking lines, but he's appeared. Interestingly enough, Steel has also appeared. So they got two armor-based, super black men, which I love. Yeah. But give me Dakota. It has been way too long. This is the really annoying thing about DC. They have certain characters that are have a really strong core fan base that they just do not do anything with. Static and Blue Beetle being two of them. Luckily, those two are getting movies. But
Blue Beetle for sure.
Static's is in development. But it's and his movie's been in development hell. But it's you have these characters that people just liked automatically, just off of looks alone, and you do nothing with them.
That's our DC curse as fans,
right? We have characters like Vixen. We have characters it took us forever to get Shazam. We have other Green Lanterns that are more popular sometimes than that certain guy I don't want to name.
Right.
We have characters I'm looking at my DC poster. I'm looking at all these people. Most of these people have been in media in the past 5 years. Yeah. We have Bumblebee from the Teen Titans. People love the Teen Titans. We've never had a live action Teen Titans movie.
Right.
But Guardians of the Galaxy and Eternals got one.
DC has the problem. That's a conversation for another time. But I'm glad we have Young Justice, and whenever it comes, season 5 comes out, I'll be happy. In the meantime, I hope they keep doing Young Justice comic miniseries that are in continuity, right? So Young Justice Targets is coming out in next week or the week after. I definitely think it's worth investing in as fans of Young Justice. If that's something you want to do and show your support for the franchise, it's in continuity, so it's literally direct support for the concept. I want to thank you both for coming on the show and taking time out of your day or your night. Before we get going, Ben, where can we find you? What do you got coming up? You got any plugs?
You can find me at BTArtist98 on essentially everything on TikTok, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube. BTArtist. I was able to secure the branding, y'all. Secure the branding. I'm everywhere. There's something coming up that I'm not sure is known yet. So, but I had fun stuff coming out. I obviously, if you're know me from TikTok, I be in lives with people like Tez Talks, Zora, Habits, all those fun people. So I be on TikTok a lot. I be on TikTok live. I be posting on Instagram. If you haven't seen my Instagram, I was posting some custom action figures. I'm gonna show. I had just finished my Homegirl right here. Yeah. Bow, boom.
It's a repaint and stuff.
I cobbled together. This is 1, 2, 3. Hold up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 different action figures to make this one Batgirl that looked like this. My mind's eye. This is how Batgirl should look. So I'm slowly but surely getting through the core Bat family. So Signal's coming, Cass is coming. I'm working on a second Tim Drake. This is what I got so far of him.
Okay, nice.
But I'm gonna be posting all that on Instagram, sometimes on Twitter. I'll be on Twitter just talking my shit,
Okay.
So yeah.
All right, cool. Abby, where can we find you? What do you got coming up?
I'm pretty much just TikTok for me. I do have Twitter and Instagram, but TikTok is where I post things. It is entirely Stranger Things for me at the moment. It is 24/7 Stranger Things. I'm incredibly fixated on that right now.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's just a lot of Stranger Things talk at the moment.
All right.
And the occasional, when I get around to it, the occasional Miss Marvel and Kenobi at the moment, both of which I'm loving.
Miss Marvel is so good.
Both.
Marvel is
It is really good.
It's so good.
Yeah.
I'm really enjoying it.
Thank you, both of you, so much for coming on this. Thank you to anybody out there who was watching this either live or after the fact. Our live streams are saved on twitch.tv/The Keeg Show /videos, I think is what it is. But basically, you can find us on our live stream platforms, volume.com/The Keeg Show, twitch.tv/The Keeg Show, or youtube.com/The Keeg Show. You can also find us on any other social media at The Keeg Show. TikTok and Instagram are big ones. We're also on Facebook and Twitter as well. Find one that works for you. However you guys digest us and digest away. We are also we do a podcast. We take this episode, we make it into a podcast. So if you're listening to us and you haven't seen us, you're listening to the podcast wherever you get your podcasts from. Apple Podcasts, Google Play, SoundCloud, Spotify, iHeartRadio. We're on those. Maybe we're on more. Woo! I don't know. We got a lot of stuff to come. Obi-Wan After Show ends this week, but we have the final episode of that. We still have more of the Miss Marvel After Show. We got Comic Talk every Thursdays. We got the Keeg Back every Fridays. And then the Keeg Talks is roughly every other Saturday. So we're going to take next week off, and then we're going to be back to finish up our Stranger Things talk because we did the first volume. The second volume should be coming out soon, and then we'll be talking about that soon. But we've got a lot of cool stuff. Thor: Love and Thunder comes out next month. A lot of awesome stuff coming out, but definitely stay tuned to everything that the Keeg has to offer. But thanks again, Ben. Thanks again, Abby, so much for coming on. And once again, I'm your host, Dimitri Pereira, and this has been the Keeg Talks Young Justice Season 4, Young Justice Phantoms. Take care. Bye.